It's like, maybe. 3, 2, 1. Thank you, David. Oh, I'll have that. Come on in. Yeah, come in. There you go. Thank you. Got goodies. Right, welcome to live shopping. Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. Did you join us this morning early on? If not, you missed a treat, but we're going to do some fabulous demos for you in this hour. We've got some brand new downloads for you. We've got existing downloads that you might not have seen yet. We've got a tote bag full of goodies, which is very exciting. And we've also got prime time deals on our, what was that, weirdo? It's like a piece of paper just come under the door. Prime time deals as well for you on the ScanNCut machines today. David thinks it's funny, is sliding letters under the door. Are they love letters for you? He can't fit the wheel underneath there though, can he? Right, let me introduce you to the team. We've got Laura on cameras. Give us a wave, Laura. There you go. We've got Amber producing. We've got me presenting for an hour, and we've got a demonstrator for you for ScanNCut in the form of our Lily. Oh no, right, she's very excited about this.
I am. I only used this machine for the first time on Saturday, would you believe? And here I am.
But you've used the ScanNCut before, haven't you?
Used the CM, but not this one. But
there you go. See? All good stuff, right? Switching it up a bit. Right, get your questions in. If you've got any questions, let us know. Right, first of all, let me tell you where you can watch us and how to shop. So you can watch us on YouTube, you can watch us on Facebook, Instagram, and on our website, which is highlightcrafts.com. If you're going to shop on either Facebook or Instagram, we're going to show you a product, and that product will have a code. And all you need to do is type shop and then that code into the comments underneath the video. That code will be on your screen whenever we're talking about that product. Then we're going to send you a direct message, and in that message you will find a link. So to check out, so you can be downloading the digital downloads and playing with them this afternoon, you're literally going to click that link, and that will take you to highlightcrafts.com, where you need to log into your account and then check out. It's more important over the next few days than ever before to log into your club, because we're doing extra prime time deals and we've got a cracker on this show. So I'll tell you about that in a little while, but please make sure you're logging into your accounts. Secondly, if you would like to shop with us directly on highlightcrafts.com, you can do that as well. So simply go to the website, click watch live, press play, and as that show starts, all those items in that show will appear down the left hand side of your screen. All you need to do then is select the ones that you wish to purchase, and they will appear at the top of your screen in the form of a little red shopping bag. When you're ready to check out, you're going to click that, and that will take you through that process. Now you can also shop ahead. So from midnight, you can then shop that day's deals. So just go onto the homepage of highlightcrafts.com, select shop today's deals, which is a banner, and all of those products will open up for you. Right, let's get stuck into some of the downloads first, and then I'm going to, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to do the machine first because it's important. So we've got two deals for you. We've got the tattered lace machine by itself as a naked deal. Okay, so you get the machine, you get two mats, your auto blade, you also get your stylus and your spatula. Okay, then inside the machine's memory, you've got 682 shapes that you can resize, minimum of 250 different sizes. We've got 100 quilt blocks and 7 full fonts, so uppercase, lowercase, numbers and punctuation. So you've got all of that pre-installed inside. Now via the Artsphere app, but without the subscription, and there's a little leaflet that comes in your box with you that gives you a QR code to take you to where you need to be. You're going to access 90 tattered lace designs, okay? So if you want that for $249.99, I know it's crazy price, isn't it? Then you're going to get your discount off. Then you're going to get your loyalty points back in a couple of weeks' time. And obviously there's no postage because it's over £35. Now here's the thing, prime time deals until the end of the event, which I think ends on the 11th, which will be Friday. Yes. You are going to get an extra £10 worth of points added to your account in a couple of weeks' time for buying a ScanNCut during that event. So absolutely fabulous. I think it worked out after the 5% discount and your points back. I think we're just over £225. Now we're knocking another £10 off. Now think about that compared to an electronic die cutting machine. You're not going to get 682 sets of dies in 250 different sizes, are you? You're not going to be able to draw them or foil them or emboss them or do all those amazing things that we do. So maybe today is the day where you go, you know what, I'm jumping off that fence, I'm taking the splinters out my bum and I'm buying a ScanNCut. So if you want that, it's $249.99. Now you can also get it with the Tattered Lace subscription, which is worth $149.99. So that is a digital download. So it will stay on your account, so you can download it as and when you wish to, but you're going to get all 24 issues of the Tattered Lace digital subscription with thousands and thousands of cutting files. But the best way to learn your machine is to use it, and the most fun way to use it is to make a project. So you can turn to any project in any of those 24 magazine content, and you can make that card. You've got everything from the card base, the mats and layers, they're all printed for you. Your charisma, if there's a sentiment on it, it's a drawing file, everything. I wanted a craft magazine for ScanNCut users where you could turn to page 42 and make those cards, or you could turn to page 17 and make those cards from start to finish. That's exactly what you can do. Now, if you would prefer that deal, it's $299.99. So you're getting £150 worth of bonus product, but you're only paying £50 more. You take choice. Now, I've got another deal. I know, but I have to get them in because I want to make sure that you get it while we're in these prime time deals. SDX 1200, okay? This is the one that has that larger screen. This has 1,303 images, icons and shapes, etc. inside the machine's memory. It has 17 fonts and 100 quilt blocks. It comes with your regular auto blade. It also comes with your fabric auto blade, which is, I have to say, phenomenal. Then you also get your pen holder. You get an air erasable and a water soluble pen. You get 6 drawing pens. I don't know where the black one's gone, but you do get 6. And you also get your spatula and your stylus. So all of that you can have for $499.99. Is that with the education, Lily? That one? Lily, sorry. I've got Lily on once. Listen, I'm getting old. Stop it. What does it say on the screen?
It says
Magazine download.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So you can have it for $499.99 with that download. So we take £150 off that. You're at £350. Then you've got your discount. Then you've got your loyalty points that'll go back in a couple of weeks. Then you're also going to get another £10 worth of points in there as well. So you make your choices. Depends what you want. Okay, depends whether you think the extra price is worth the larger screen or whether you want the extra content. But when you think about all the SVG files we bring you, I think if I was doing it now, I would probably buy the Tattered Lace one and then invest in some SVG files from us, because you can be more specific then. You can pick the ones that you want to use. But you know what, it depends on the screen, it depends what your thing is, doesn't it? Right, let me introduce you to the Christmas stencils that we launched this morning. So first of all, you've got this one. Now you're going to get 6 designs. Now, although we say the stencils, I'm going to show you some cards in a little while that have nothing to do with stenciling, but they have been used for these. These are cutting files, okay? So you can draw them, you can foil them, you can emboss them, you can paper pierce them. All those amazing things that we do as ScanNCut users, you can do with these. Please don't think that you just have to cut them out of Mylar. That's not the way that it works. Showed you earlier on how to take that and make it into something different. So that's your first one. Your second one is your Merry Christmas wreath. Now this is lovely. Now at home, I think what I'm going to do for Christmas is I'm going to cut this out several times. So I'm going to cut it in browns, I'm going to cut it in 2 or 3 different greens. I'm going to use my foil pen on these little intricate pieces here to add a little bit of metallic into there. But then I'm going to use the stencil as a guide to paper piece everything back in. So when you lift it off, it's one of those projects that's got all those different colours of card for all those different layers. I think that's going to look smashing. Then we've also got your presents. Now this could be used all year round. So you've got all your gifts in there. And you can flip these around. You can take one, enlarge it, do all your different techniques with that one as well. Then we've got your holly, which is a must-have really, isn't it? But you could take that leaf, and that leaf, and those berries and create a whole background. I mean, I know that's a whole background, but you could create something completely different if that's what you wanted to do. You could put it on a branch. There's all sorts of different things that you can do when you own cutting files. Next one is our snowflakes. Please forgive the stencil, I used it yesterday. To put paste through. I used the Capella, I say that every time, Capella. And this, my friends, is what that looks like, paper pierced. I'm going to move it, you keep the camera there, love, there you go, look at that. Now that's the reverse side, so you can see it's got that texture. If I show you the front of it, where it's actually pierced into, you can see there that you've got all those dots and they still look like snowflakes. That's the amazing thing. It's absolutely brilliant. If you haven't got yourself that piercing starter kit yet, you might want to treat yourself because it's really good. And this is just to show you what that stencil looks like with that paste through. So don't think that the paste from Cadence are just for mixed media. They're absolutely for your cards as well. How pretty. It's just super simple, isn't it? Now, if that background wasn't there, you'd be looking at it and going, yeah, there's something missing off that. Because that background's there, it works perfectly. Then on top of that, we've also got our stag stencil. So you're going to get all 6 of those. Remember, you can resize them all. I would make them bigger. I won't go much smaller, if I'm honest, just because of the limitations, that 3mm turning point. So the ScanNCut needs to get in, rotate, meet itself and come out. It needs 3mm to do that. So we make sure that all the files are checked, double checked, triple checked, and they're also taken into Canvas so that we can do all those amazing things with them. Right, I've just said it's not just about stencils. Look at these. Lou's done these for us. So she's taken the snowflake, made a wreath out of them, created an offset line to get all the mats and layers and used it as a card blank. How lovely is that? Isn't that fabulous? Super, super, super easy. The Noel is out of your machine's memory and it's on the vinyl. You've got Merry Christmas, so she's taken the centre out of that wreath, put a row of presents at the top and cut it into the non-shed glitter card. So you can see there isn't a stencil inside, is there? But look how fabulous these are. Isn't that amazing? All with your mats and layers, and all of these shapes, these scalloped edges, are all inside your machine's memory. And then also this, look how lovely that is. Isn't that pretty? With that parchment, really super, isn't it? Just adding that pop of colour. Right, so if you want those, it is shop seasonal and it's $14.99. Right, now we have another download that we launched the other day, myself and Stephanie. This is Crimson Noel. This is beautiful. If you haven't got this yet, you need to be popping this into your basket because you're getting Minecraft Studio and your SVG files for this collection. So you've got your 3 different cutting files, again in all those different sizes. You've got all the different colorways within Minecraft Studio, and you've also got all the detail lines in there as well. Then you've got all your elements in here. So you've got all of these beautiful florals that you can use. Now you can also design your own thing in Minecraft Studio and create a cutting file from it by scanning in a black version of what you've created. Super, super clever. You've got all your reflections for your dies, but you're not going to worry about those as a ScanNCut user because you've got your reflections artwork and the reverse of it as well. Then you've got your digi-stamps. So these would be fabulous with your pyrography or your hot foil pen, something like that. You've then got these beautiful backgrounds. Now this is about us creating quite a chunk of the design on your card, but just adding in an odd die cut here and there, I think just looks super. Or you can fade them right back. You can have it as your insert, your envelope, your envelope inside, all of it. All sorts of different things that you can do with this. Then you've also got your vintage backgrounds, which are stunning. And then last but by no means least, you've also got your textures in there as well. So that one is Shop Digital. It's $14.99 and you get the opportunity to play around with some beautiful, beautiful artwork. And you know what? It's interesting, isn't it? So because I was looking at these cards are stunning. I'm just going to lay these out so our lovely Laura can get a good idea, a good shot of these. I walked into the studio and I was like, okay, this is a perfect case for buying a ScanNCut, right? We sell these domes now. Now, I made a demo for Amanda the other day, and I tried to find one of our fundamental nesting dies that was exactly the right size circle for that to go behind the card and pop through. And I went through so many sets, there wasn't a one of them. Now then, you can measure that on your ScanNCut and you can make that absolutely precisely. And you don't need any dies at all. There's one circle pre-installed into the machine's memory. That's because that's all you need. It's brilliant, okay? So things like that, that's the reason. You can make the project that you want to make, not the project that's dictated to you by the tools that you own. That is a prime example. Maybe you're looking at it and goes, too much on there for me, Mel. I like clean, simple cards. What about this one then? So just a plain card blank. I've cut out the SVG file. You've got to flip it first. So make sure that you flip the artwork, because when you're embossing onto your parchment, you then turn it over to see the white work. And then you've got the white work on there that overlays over the top. So you don't even need to colour in. Isn't that lovely? If you make and sell, this is going to make, honestly, people are going to love these because it's something a little bit different. So you've got, I've used the detailed design to emboss and the reflection design to cut out the artwork itself. So if you're in the market for Christmas, it is Shop Digital and it's $14.99. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? David was saying they were out the other day. It cost them £12 for 2 coffees. Hot water and a few beans. What's that about, right? Right, next. Now then, we have got our rectangle gatefolds and our square gatefolds. So these launched with myself and Amanda on Friday. Okay, I'm just going to sort myself out here. There we go. So if you would like to make Christmas cards like this, then you absolutely can. Now, if you watch us at 6 o'clock tonight, I'm going to sit down with Canvas Workspace and I'm going to show you all the different things that you can do with this. Well, some of them. An hour isn't long enough. Teaching you how to create matte layers for behind, how to make it into a card shape, how to make it into a complete tree. All those different things that we can do, I'm going to teach you at 6 o'clock. We did it on Friday, but I've had message after message after message over the weekend going, please go and show us again, I've forgotten. Absolutely. So, Christmas tree gatefold, bauble gatefold. So that's this one. I'm going to show you how to create your mats and layers to go behind that. Look at that rainbow on there. Isn't that fantastic? Look at it. It's amazing, isn't it? Right, so you're going to get all of that, and then you're also going to get your 4 panels that are going to go onto your cards, or they could be bookmarks, or they could be wraps to go around a card. You know, if you want a band going through the middle, absolutely you can do that. So that's one set, and then your second set are your more panels. So you've got that lovely flourish. These will be lovely paper pieced, really pretty with the paper piece in. Just cut them out of different colours and then lay it back in. And then you're also going to get the bell gatefold and the snowflake gatefold. So you're getting all of that content. Shop gatefold, $19.99. That's mad, isn't it? So that file is costing you what, £5? Bonkers. That's all I have to say about that. But tune in at 6 o'clock tonight because you'll be able to see all that in action. Right, I want to talk to you about the Mylar. So if you do want to cut your designs out of stencil material, you can absolutely do that. Please make sure that your mat's nice and sticky because it is plastic and you're working with a moving blade and a moving platform. Then I would set your cut amount to 0.5mm. That way it will cut it in one go. Because what you don't want, you're risking it a little bit if you cut in plastic, because if it shifts slightly and it only needs to be a fraction of a millimetre, then it's not going to cut in exactly the right place, which you want because you want those sharp edges for a stencil. So if you are pasting, you can pull it up and it holds it for its form. This is the perfect one. We looked all over. Literally, there were emails pinging all over the world trying to find this product. Turns out it's a factory 30 minutes from where I live in Blackburn. Does it. Literally, I pass it literally as I'm coming here, which is mad, isn't it? But if you want that, that's 10 sheets. Shop Mylar, $14.99. Right, Lily, over to you.
Right, so I'll...
Oh, this is exciting. I'm going to go and have a seat.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. So I'm going to rewind a little bit. So my ScanNCut journey, gosh, I'm trying to think. The last time I used a ScanNCut was probably going back about 4 years. Now, I managed to, and I have to say it was quite a struggle, if I'm perfectly honest. I managed to take this machine, not this exact machine, it's still at home, but I took one of these machines at home over the weekend. So the first time I ever used this exact SDX machine, bear in mind, the only machine I'd used before was one of the CM series. Never used an SDX machine before prior to the Saturday that's literally just gone, what, 4 days ago. That was the first time I ever used this machine, and I have to say it's an absolutely incredible machine. So what I want to do with this is I want to take it right back to basics. So literally straight out the box, what you'd be doing with this machine. Mel will be showing you lots of more in-depth things coming up at 6 o'clock tonight. But if you are, just like I was on Saturday, brand new to this fantastic machine, I just wanted to share with you a few simple techniques, a few sort of things that I'd be doing first of all, and what I actually did first of all on Saturday, just so you can get up and running. And then as you start to grow with this machine, you can do all those amazing techniques. You can dive into the world of Canvas Workspace. You can bring in all those amazing materials. But for now, I just wanted to show you the absolute basics. So I've not even turned it on yet. So literally, we've taken it out the box, fresh out the box, and I'm just going to press the on button just to turn our screen on. You can see that it's going to light up green to let you know that it's turned on, and then it'll start to bring up the welcome screen. Now, if you don't want it to bring up the welcome screen every single time you turn this on, you can actually turn that off as a feature, which is pretty cool. So screen's on. Then all we need to do is just open up this front part. Love the fact as well that it just all tidies away, so we don't always have to have that front sort of wing open. You can just have that closed up. And I have to say as well, I'm not being funny, but how pretty is this machine? It's absolutely gorgeous. It's important for me. I don't know about you guys at home, but I love having pretty things in my craft room. I love having that lovely sort of aesthetic. So you've got that beautiful lacy design on the front there. So we've just opened this up. You can see we've got our holder is empty. I've taken out the blade so I can just show you how easy it is to pop our blade in. Now I've got my blade housing. It's already got its blade inside. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it does have the blade already inside of there. All we need to do is just take our blade, and this is our standard blade that we're using for this one, and we're just going to drop it into there, and it'll sort of sit in there and click in nicely. And then we've just got this, the way I think of this, bit daft, but the way I think of that is, you know, when you're on a roller coaster and they strap you in and they bring the seat belt down, that's how I think of that. So I remember to have my seat belt down, I've got to move it downwards, and that will click that into place. That's not going to come up as it's moving. So that's good to go. Then I'm going to grab my stylus, and I'm just going to tap on the screen there, and it's going to bring me up the next screen, which is going to tell me that the carriage is going to move. So basically keep your hands out of the way. So I'm going to press OK, and it's going to move just ever so slightly onto there. Then it brings up onto our home screen. So if we want to be doing a test cut, we can do that from here. If we want to be editing something, so for me, I always have mine in inches, so you can change it from millimetres to inches there. Your language, your cut areas on there, your pattern interval. We won't be getting into that today. We're just going to keep it nice and basic, but that is there if you do want to change it. And you've got things like your speed and your pressure. But I'm literally just going to leave that as it is. And on there we've got scan, we've got pattern, we've got retrieve data. So if you're using a USB, you're going to go into retrieve data. But literally we are just going to cut the simplest thing to start off with. So I'll press on pattern. You've got all your folders, and just to bear in mind as well, if I click on that one, it's not literally just a circle and a square. You've got all sorts within there as well. You've got your alphabets, you've got your borders, absolutely tons of files on here, 682 for your delectation and delight within there, so you can have a little look through all those. And I have to say, when I was just playing about with this the other day, I had a little look through all the folders and just had a look at all the sorts of different things that we can be cutting on here. I'm just going to choose one of these at random. I quite fancy that shape. That's quite a nice sort of pinked edge shape to that one there. And then once we've clicked on it, it'll bring up this screen. Now at this point we can start to change the height and width of this. So if I want to make it a little bit larger, I can absolutely do that. And it goes up at 1 mm increments. You've got real accuracy when it comes to this screen here. So I can move it up, or if I want to actually turn it into a rectangle rather than a square, this little button at the right hand side there, I just need to tap on that one. That will turn it blue, and then that will basically unlock those two measurements. So instead of increasing it sort of proportionally and keeping it as a square, I can just make that height smaller, whereas I'm leaving the width the same. So I can start to turn this into a rectangle if I so choose. So if we make that a little bit thinner, so it's more of a rectangle, we can have that like that. Or if we want to bring it back into that formation there, you can unlock that one once again. So once I'm happy with that, all I'm going to do is I'm going to set it on my mat. But if I wanted more than one of these, Mel always talks about the number being more of a quantity. So number is basically how many of these you want. So if you wanted 10 of these, if you wanted to fill your whole mat with them, you can increase that number there. But for now, we're just going to keep it nice and simple with just cutting one of those. Now this is going to bring up our mat now. Mel, when she was crafting with this one earlier, she's made our mat a little bit smaller. So our cut area is just this top section at the top there. But I'm not going to worry about that too much, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some of my cardstock. Now, one of the things I was sort of worried about when I first started playing with the ScanNCut and first started getting to know it many years ago, I thought, well, it's a 12 by 12 area. Do I always have to use 12 by 12 sheets of cardstock? Because just from cutting a little shape like that, I don't want to cut into a whole piece of cardstock. And absolutely not, and that's where the scanner comes into play here. So I've got a piece of cardstock, as you can see here. I've already done a little bit of cutting with this one, and I'm just going to burnish it into position. Of course, if you've got your spatula, you can be burnishing that onto there using that. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mat, little arrow at the top there, and I'm just going to offer it up. So we're just going to find where you've got your roller there, you've got your two little black sections, and you've got almost like a little dip on the left and the right hand side. All you want to do, and I have to say it's a little bit easier if you're fully front onto it, but we'll manage. We're just going to offer that up so it's going to slot nicely centrally between those two. Oh, just like magic. Thank you, Mum. So we'll do that. We'll do it properly. Do it the proper way this time. This is why this is so fabulous. You've got your burnishing tool there, so you can burnish it down properly, which means as it goes into the machine, it's not going to move about. So if we just offer that up once again, making sure it's nice and central and it's straight on as well. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to press this middle button. Now in terms of the buttons, it's very simple. You've got your on off, you've got your home. So if at any point I just want to get back to that home screen, we'll press that one. We've got our pause, and then we've got this one, which is our loading mat. So I've got my arrow facing up, and I'm literally just going to load the mat. Then all that's going to do is just going to take our mat inwards. So it's going to be ready to cut when we need it to. So we've got our mat in, but then what we'll do is we'll take my stylus once again, and we've got that button there, and that button is going to scan our mat. So rather than trying to guess where our cardstock is on our mat, because obviously our cardstock isn't the same size as our mat, we're just going to scan that in, and then we can position that shape perfectly onto that cardstock without having to worry about whether it's going to be in the right position. It's great as well if you've got a piece of cardstock that you're creating an aperture, you can make sure it's going to be centered perfectly into the center. So that's scanned in. You can see there that purple section is our cardstock. So where we had that shape positioned originally, it was slightly off there. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it inwards, and that's going to take it onto our mat there, and it's going to be perfectly onto our card. Now if I wanted to play about with this a little bit more, I press on edit. If I wanted to add other shapes, so I might want to add perhaps another shape as an aperture in the centre, I'd press on add for that. But for edit, you've got all your different things onto there once we press on our object edit. So object edit will bring in all these different things, whether we want to resize it, multiply it, whether we want to rotate it, seam allowance, flipping it, all sorts of different functions. And my top tip would be, especially if this is your first time using your machine, just go through, click on them all, see what they all do, and just have a little bit of a play about with it. But for this instance, we just want to get cutting. So we press OK, OK once again, and that will bring us through to the next screen that we were just at before. OK on that one. And then it's going to tell me to please select. Now on this point, this is where it gets a little bit fancy, whether we want to cut it, draw it, emboss it. If you've got all those extra sort of expansion kits, that's where you'll select that there. But in this instance, we're just going with cut. So I'll literally just press on to cut. That will process it for a second. Going to tell you exactly how long it's going to take. In this case, only a minute, which is not very long at all. And once we're happy and good to go, we're just going to literally press cut. Now what that does with it being an auto blade, we don't need to worry about whether the blade pressure is going to be right, what sort of cardstock we're using. It will literally just put almost like a little peeping hole just down, just to have a little look at the material. It'll decide exactly what sort of pressure it needs, and then it will get cut in. And the first few times you use it, you'll definitely be studying that blade and like watching it and wow, and looking forward to that shape coming out at the end. So just going to go around, cut that. Once you're happy, what I would recommend is before you actually take that mat out, just in case it's not cut, which I'm sure it will have done. There we go. You can see, just peel that card back. But I always leave the mat in while I peel that back. Once I'm happy with that, then we can just press that same button once again that we pressed to load the mat. That will just feed it back out, and we'll unload our mat. Then all we need to do is literally just making sure you're bending back the mat a little bit just to get that released. And you've got that shape cut perfectly every single time. Now you could be making 100 invitations and be cutting that 100 times, so you know every single time it's going to be absolutely perfect. But that's what I'd say. If you are brand new to this machine, have a little bit of a play around, click on those buttons, nothing bad's going to happen. You don't even need to cut to start off with, but once you do your first cut, that is the sort of thing you can do with a ScanNCut. Very basic little bit of editing, and that is how easy it is. And it's a journey you go on. You'll be growing, you'll be learning more and more, using different materials, coming into Canvas workspace. But as a starter, it's a very easy place to start, literally as easy as that. It's no more difficult than die cutting, not at all.
Absolutely not. You just need to learn what the little icons mean. I am working on that list. I get like 60 seconds to do it here and 2 minutes to do it there, and yeah, it's a bit mad at the moment, but it's good, right? It's good.
Mad. Yeah.
Right, I want to talk you through some of these starter kits, and then we'll go back to for another demo with our Lily. So, piercing. Now this, I need to make this really clear, this is for SDX users only. So if you are treating yourself to one of the tattered lace machines today, then this might be something that would appeal to you, and I'll tell you why I love it. It's interesting, isn't it? So first of all, when we started with the ScanNCut, it was all tattered lace and charisma, and we got the tattered lace bit nailed because we did USBs, where our graphics team literally took the image apart and rebuilt it so that it worked. So we got that bit nailed. We could cut our intricate, detailed designs. Then it was a case of working out what we did for charisma, which is tattered lace version of our reflections. So we worked that out by putting the rectangle in. But one thing that we've never been able to replicate is the pin dot detail that you get with the die. Jamie Rogers is brilliant at it. You know, when he brings you his nesting shapes, he does like a plain one, then he does one with that pin dot detail. You can now do that on your ScanNCut with the piercing starter kit. Now, I know you got CM users are sitting there going, but that's not fair. No, it's not, you're right. But there is a reason, because I was a little bit cross, I'm not going to lie. But there is a reason. And the reason is, first of all, you get a mat in here. And on that mat, you'll see it's different to your normal cutting mats. This it's almost like a polymer on top of it. The reason it's black is because when I asked a brother to see if they could make something like this, we were looking at vellum and parchment. So if you then wanted to scan it in, if it was white on white, you wouldn't see it. So that's why the mat is black, so you can see and scan in your parchment if that's what you want to do. But the reason that you can't use it on a CM machine is because if we just look at the side of this machine here, there is a lever that you can lift, and the machine will prompt you to lift this if it's drawing, foiling, anything like that. So if you lift that up, that lifts the static back rollers up in the SDX. You can't do that on a CM machine. So therefore, because you're scanning in a mat that's got that thick material on it, it hits the scanner unit at the back. So there was nothing they could do to make that work, unfortunately, for CM, but it does work with your SDX. And you know what, guys? Well, we've got an SDX on at $249.99 before your discount, plus your points, and because we've got our prime time deals, which are brilliant, till Friday, you're going to get an extra £10 back credit onto your account in the form of points, just because we're doing prime time deals, which is amazing, right? So in here, you get a 0.4 needle and a 0.8. I will admit I used to usually use the 8 more than the 4. The 4 is quite fine. And the other thing that I do before I use it, especially if it's with card, put a very light spray of stencil spray, not the stencil glue for your mats, but the spray from Cadence on the back of your card. Please, please, please don't put that spray anywhere near your mat, but absolutely on the back of your card, and it needs to be the finest layer. And that's because every time that needle goes into that mat and pulls out, it pushes down, then it pulls it up like that, just like that all the time. So over time, if it's like it takes 25 minutes to do your design, it's going to lift that card slightly. And therefore, the impression of that dot isn't going to be as sharp as it could be. So this does all of that for you. You access some designs via Canvas Workspace, but you can use it with any shape. So if you want your circles, your squares, your basic shapes, and you want to have an aperture but the piercing around it, you can do that. And do you know what else is really clever? You can set the distance between the holes. Of course you can. It's brother. The one thing you can't do is make them bigger or smaller, because the dots are a dot. You can't resize that. It's like the rhinestone starter kit. You have to cut the circles at a certain size because the rhinestones are a certain size. With this, you can't expand a dot. But this is fabulous. If you're looking for a gift for somebody, maybe you've already got a ScanNCut, maybe you're part of a group, this is absolutely brilliant, okay? So that is Shop Starter, $76.99. Now we've got the embossing starter kit for you. I love this product. This is how our Lou has done this card. It's absolutely phenomenal. I would use it for parchment or craft metal. It's not the best on card because it's not quite, the pressure isn't quite high enough like it is with an embossing folder. You will get a slight impression, but it's much, much better on your parchment and your craft metal. So if you want something like this, this is super easy too. You get another activation code for canvas. Now, I just need to make this really, really, really clear. When you're buying a starter kit, if you don't want to activate the shapes in canvas, if you're happy just doing your own thing, you don't need to. Registering that little credit card there just gives you designs. It doesn't mean that you can then, let me think about how I'm going to say this. You don't have to activate that to be able to use this, basically, is what I'm trying to say. If you want the designs, fine. If you don't, you literally switch on premium functions in your machine settings. Literally switch it on. That's all you need to do. And then it knows that you can emboss. Okay, it really is that simple. So if you want the starter kit, it comes with 2 pieces of metal. It comes with the white mat that's like a very thin memory foam. So you put that on, and then your tool, because you get 2 different ones, I use the finest one, goes into the holder. It then knows that it's embossing, and it will work through it for you. But it's a brilliant kit. This has been out a long time, so I know a lot of you will have it. But if you haven't, if you're brand new, this is lovely because you can do all your white work. And then last but by no means least, we also have the foil starter kit. So this comes with a pen that has numbers from 1 to 4 down it. That goes into the special little holder, and then you draw your design. Now this is for CM and SDX because when this was brought out, they decided that they could get it to draw from the bottom up so it didn't touch the static rollers. It wasn't about the thickness of the material this time. So you get your pen, you also get this little piece of what looks like polymer. That's for picking up any stray bits of foil. Really good. It's good just general with that. And then you get your activation code in there for canvas as well. You also get your blue burnishing sheet. So it's a super simple process, but it means that you can foil your reflections with the detailed designs. I know, how exciting is that? It's brilliant, isn't it? Right, I'm just going to bring in this goodie bag because this is another one of our deals that we've got on for you today. So I'm going to get everything out. Is it contents will vary?
Yes. I've not seen this one yet.
Have you not seen this one yet?
It's good, Amber. It's good. You'll like it.
I haven't seen this one. I haven't seen any of them yet, to be fair. So both rice papers you're going to get. They're super cute, aren't they? Then you're going to get, now contents will vary, but this is the kind of value that you're getting. One of my favourite products, which is the mechanical pencil. You get 4 of them. They all have an eraser in the top, but they also have a spare. And then you get 30 spare nibs or spare leads for each one, the different sizes. You then are going to get 2 of these drawing books, which are brilliant. And the paper isn't smooth. It almost has a little bit of a key to it. A bit like it's been sanded back a bit, which is brilliant if you're using your coloured pencils. I wouldn't use alcohol markers in these, but definitely your coloured pencils. So you're getting 2 of those or something similar. A felting kit from Creative, a little Christmas banner. We've got some cookie cutters, or you could use it with your clay. We've also got 2 sets of stencils. Oh, these are some of my favourites, these. So you get the stencil, and then you also get the embossing stencil in there as well. So you can go through with your foil pen, and then you can, where's Melanie? Run it through your die cutting machine with the embossing mat and emboss it, or just emboss it. Looks really good. So a couple of those are in this one. Oh, these. Love these at Christmas. Best things ever, these. Love them. Right, you're getting those in there. Then you've got cinnamon sticks. I know, Laura, we have proper little quirks, don't we, as crafters? We're just mad. Oh, wait, what's this? Oh, look at that little tea light holder. This is what you feel, what you find when you midge at the bottom of a bag, isn't it? We got some bubbles. You all need bubbles, don't we, at Christmas? Look at those. Okay, so you're getting some of those. Well, depends what you're going to get, really, doesn't it? But I know our Sam will get you a lot of good stuff. Christmas tree. And in here we've also got some multi-markers as well. And your tote. Now your tote is $24.99 by itself. Okay, really good quality tote. Has elastic on here, so keeping things like your pencils, your paintbrushes, your rulers, all those things that do that. Yeah, I know. You've got pockets inside here. You've got pockets on the side. You've got the same on the other side and a really nice big area inside. So you're going to get your tote, and for £5 extra, we're going to stuff it for you, full of goodies. How cool is that? I know our Sam as well. She'll look after you all and make sure that you get really, really cool stuff in there. So if you want one of those, it is shop tote and it's $29.99. Remember, that's before your discount. So you're not paying the price that you're seeing on the screen. You're going to pay less, which is brilliant. Right, Lily, are we ready to go for another one, my lovely? Perfect.
Yeah, let's do it. Right,
okay.
So I've left the screen exactly as it was when we last left off, just to show you, if you do want to be doing extras with that, of course you can do, but in this instance, we're just going to remove that. So if we wanted to save it, we could press on save there, and if we created something that we wanted to keep for future, of course we can do that. But in this instance, we'll press on home, OK to delete all patterns. Yep, we're OK with that, and then that brings us back to the home screen. So I'm going to press on pattern once again. And then I'm going to go back to my nesting shape. So I want to show you a technique that's really, really difficult to get right with dies, but we're going to do very easily using our fabulous ScanNCut. Now I'm going to choose one of these lovely scalloped squares here. So we'll go for that one. We'll press OK, and that brings it out onto our mat. So you can see our little shape on there. Now at this point, instead of going on to edit or OK, we're going to go on to add, because we're going to add another shape. So we'll go on to pattern once again. Back to this same folder, but this time instead of having that scalloped edge, we're going to go just for a regular straight edge square, just like so. We'll press set, brings it onto our mat, and you can see there we have two of our shapes. Now, Mel, have we got a question?
No, we've got a comment. Lorraine says, brill demo, Lily, well done. And Elspeth says, Lily is fab at explaining the basics. There you go. There you go.
That's what it's all about. It's all about showing you how easy it is. If you are literally just getting this out of the box, this is how easy it can be. So we've got our two shapes on there, but our straight edge square here, we want to edit that one. So we're going to go on to edit, and that's going to bring up our next screen. We'll then go on to object edit, because we're just going to be editing this one. Rather than grouping the two, it's just this one we're focusing at for the moment. We're going to bring it so it's roughly into around that outer shape, and we're going to make it a little bit smaller. So we go to that first icon, and we can just bring that a little bit smaller, then drag it back to roughly into the centre, and then we can make it as small as we like, depending on how thick or thin we want that frame to be. So we'll make it ever so slightly smaller, about 70 mil. Then we'll press on OK. OK once again. And at this point, we're going to go to our three red boxes. And then we'll select the whole mat, because it's only these two that we've got on our mat. So we just want to focus on these two. So this one on the right hand corner there is going to select that whole mat. So you can see both of those squares now have gone red. And then we'll press on OK. Back to object edit. And then we're going to go to this one at that bottom right hand corner. It looks a bit almost like a bar chart or something like that. But what it's going to do, instead of me desperately trying to get that square in the middle perfectly of that outer one, all we're going to do is we're just going to align it. So align it that way first of all, and then we'll align it the other way. And can you see there, it gets it absolutely perfectly into the centre of that shape, which is fabulous. So we know we've got that lovely even frame, and then we've just grouped it together. So if we do want to move this all about over our mat, we can do that with ease. And now both of them are joined together. And how easy is that to create your own frames rather than desperately trying to get the two evenly spaced? You know they're going to be perfectly evenly spaced onto our mat. So at that point, we're going to press OK. I'm going to go OK once again. We're happy with just cutting our frame, and then we'll bring back in our mat. So I've got my mat once again, and just to show you, it's not just about cutting your regular cardstock. Obviously we started off with some of our regular matte cardstock to start with. This time I'm going to bring into play one of our lovely speciality cardstocks. So I'm just going to pop that, and I always do this. Does anyone else at home do the same? If you've got a piece of cardstock, it always goes into the top left hand corner, and if I go onto the bottom right hand corner, I need to try and get out of that habit. And we'll just pop that down, grab our little brayer here, and we're just going to go and burnish that so it's nice and flat. There's no sort of bubbles or anything, and it's nicely adhered onto our mat. this point, once again, we'll offer it up to the machine, making sure that we're nice and central. So you've got those two sort of platforms on the left and right hand side. It'll just fit into those two nicely, and then just making sure it's nicely straight on. At that point, we can start to load our mat. So you can load your mat earlier or at the sort of the last minute. That choice is yours, whatever you find easiest to work with. So that's loaded nicely, and then we'll go on to please select, and that gives us all our different functions. So if you've gone for any of those fabulous starter kits that Mel's just shown you, you've got all those different functions on there. But for here, we're just going to go for cut once again. And even though I've changed cardstock, so I've not even touched that blade since we first put it in that holder a few minutes ago, I've not touched that at all, and we've changed completely the cardstock that we're using, but literally the machine is going to do it all for us. So we can press on start. That's going to almost like test out that cardstock, sort of wonder what's going off here, what's this cardstock all about, right, what sort of pressure am I going to need to do? I don't even need to think about it. That blade is literally doing it all for us. So it's testing that, thinking about what sort of pressure it needs, and it's going to update. So if it needs to be taking a little bit more time to cut, it's going to tell you. So now it's telling us it's going to take 2 minutes, which is great, especially if you're in the middle of a project. You're thinking, oh, am I going to have time to do my decoupage layers, or have a time to go to the toilet or get myself a cup of tea? You know exactly how long it's going to take. So in this instance, 2 minutes, you think, right, I can work on that next stage of the card. So I'm not even having to worry or think about whether I'm actually going to be waiting for this to do its thing. But for anything like me, when you first start using this machine, you'll be watching it for the first few cuts, because it is fascinating to see the way it goes around. You can see that it's doing the scallopy edge, so it's going all the way around the edge. And if you were using a real scrap of cardstock, you could of course be scanning it in like we did first of all. And what it might do, especially with a thicker cardstock like this, it might go around and cut twice. Just to make sure you've got that nice deep cut, because with it being a glitter cardstock, you've got those layers of the card, so it may go around and cut that twice, but that's something you don't need to think about. The machine is literally doing it all for you, and once it's ready, it'll let you know. We can unload that mat and see exactly what we've created at the end. But it's a very easy process, just literally loading it onto our mat, resizing it as we need to, and then we let the machine do all the hard work, and we can focus on all the fun bits of crafting. So, big reveal, let's peel back that outer edge of cardstock, and we've still got plenty of card there that we can use for another project. And then I'm just going to unload the mat just so I can bend the mat back so it's easier to peel this piece off. You've got that outer frame cut absolutely perfectly, no feathering on there whatsoever. If I bring in a piece of this purple so you can see a little bit better, it's cut absolutely perfectly straight through there. And then of course you have your inner frame as well, if you want to use that for another aspect of the project. But that is how easy it is, cutting your specialist cardstocks on there, not having to worry about changing that blade. It's all being done by the machine, and that space and around that frame is absolutely spot on, and that's the beauty of having that align function. It does that hard work for you, which is amazing.
Brilliant. Thank you, Lily. Right, I'm going to do a quick recap on these downloads, and then I've got a question that I need to answer for a customer, so I'm going to come and stand where you are, Lily, if that's all right.
Not a problem.
Right, let's start with our brand new designs for today. So we said the stencils, they're cutting files, drawing files, embossing files, whatever you want them to be, really. It's great, isn't it? So first one, you're going to get your snowflakes. So that looks like that when you use the Capella paste through it from Cadence. So it looks like it's embossed. It's not. It's just that the paste is very similar to the colour of that card. It's fabulous, isn't it? You've also got your holly in here as well. So you're getting your holly background. Again, you can make that into individual sprigs if you want to by taking it into Canvas Workspace. You've also then got your parcels in there as well. So you're getting all of your parcels. Well, that can be used all year round. Then you've also got this, which is lovely, your Merry Christmas wreath. I want to paper piece this back in because I think it'll look absolutely spectacular. And then use the foil pen for the really tiny, fine areas. Then you're also going to get this one, which is lovely, which is your reindeers. And again, this morning I showed you how you could take that and create your own different style of stencil. And then last but by no means least, we've got the stags in there with all the little hearts. They're lovely, aren't they? Really, really pretty design. So if you want that, it's shop seasonal, and it's $14.99 for all of those designs, which is great. Right, if you fancy our latest Christmas SVGs, which are Crimson Noel, you're going to get your 3 florals. So you get your poinsettia, which is absolutely stunning. This is what it looks like when it is embossed on our parchment and then laid over the top of the SVG cut. So the colour comes through on the other side, and I've just used our tissue tape on the back of there just to create that wrap. So you're getting all of those detail lines, reflections, reverse reflections, decoupage layers, all those different things that you're used to. Then you're also going to get Micro Studio, because Sospeso Trasparente looks amazing with this. So if you were lucky enough to get that film with that glue on that deal last week, oh my goodness me, yeah, if you missed it, you missed out, because it was brilliant. Then this is perfect for you, because you can design your own page in Micro Studio, print it off to onto your rice paper, and the ScanNCut will do the rest for you. It's brilliant, isn't it? Right, so you've got your 3 different designs in here. You've got your digistamps, you've got your background papers, etc. You've got some lovely vintage ephemera pieces in there as well, which you could use as postcards. You could take that into Micro Studio, fade it down, put it over another picture at the back, all sorts of different things. And then you've got your textures in there as well. So that one is Shop Digital, and that is $14.99. And then this one we're going to focus on more heavily tonight, because Amanda and I launched this on Friday, and it was busy, but I've had people message me all over the weekend saying, please, can you show us the demos again? Yes, I absolutely can. We'll do that at 6 o'clock tonight. So you're going to get 4 panels for your square gatefolds. So you can use these for that or not. Remember, you can take this outside edge away as well. You don't have to have that in. You've then got your Christmas tree and your bauble as your gatefold. SVG. I'll show you how to change these into cut lines as well, into score lines rather than perforation lines. You've then got your rectangle panels, which are fantastic. I love this one with the holly, really cool. Remind me tonight, I will show you how to create holly out of ovals on the ScanNCut. Write it down, because I'll forget, so you'll need to remind me.
Yeah.
I know I'll forget. There's not even a doubt now. And then you've also got your bell gatefold and your snowflake. So tonight at 6 o'clock we're going to spend an hour looking at this and showing you exactly what you can get out of it. So all of that lot, my friends, is Shop Gatefold. $19.99 is going to get you all of those. And this is the kind of thing that you can be making. Look how pretty this is. But you can see straight away in the middle there's a flower there, right? So you can now make the flower, but I'm going to show you how you make that snowflake hole rather than having that gap in between. But super, super, super pretty. Right, we've got a really quick question. I need to come round there. So how do we make lines thicker when we're drawing them? So it used to be that you had to put more pressure on it. I'm just going to take that cut area back to full from where we were this morning. So if you want to draw, for example, let's just do a square. If we set it on the mat and we move it in slightly, we're changing it, so we're editing it. We're editing the object, so we click on that. This little button here that looks like a pen with a block colour behind it, that's your drawing function in here. So this is where you can add additional lines. That's your piercing, that's your drawing. So if we click on that, we can put the fill function on, so you can fill it with the shape. So if you wanted to colour it in, if you wanted to colour in words for sentiments, you can do that. It'll do straight lines for you. It'll do grids for you. It'll do grids with the triangles and then grids with the different triangles, or you can just turn it off. But your line spacing is here. So you're going to you can increase the distance between the 2 lines as well. So super, super easy to do. So just by pressing that, that will open up that screen, and you can then select, if we switch it on, you can then select the distance between the lines as well. It'll do up to 2 lines. So it will go around and it will do the square, it'll draw it, then it'll go out 0.2 mil, it'll draw it again, and then it'll go out further and do it again. Now, the other thing that you can use that for is if you want lots of, so you've got an aperture and you want 2 lines just drawn round the outside edge, that's how you do it, because you can set the distance between it. It's absolutely brilliant. Please, 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 I'm going to come back round here now so Lily can take a spot back. Please don't miss out on these deals. I mean, I've just looked at it on the screen now and thought, good grief, the tattered lace should be £400 it should be. Right, £400. We've knocked £150 off the price. That's absolutely phenomenal. I was owning brother to get a machine under 300. Now we're doing it under 250. That's incredible. But until Friday, we are also in our prime time deals. So if you buy a ScanNCut today through any of the shows or any time up to Friday, and you it will automatically, so first of all, you get your club discount off. Secondly, you won't pay postage. You'll get your points back onto your account in a couple of weeks' time. But more importantly, you're going to get another £10 worth of points credited to your account in a couple of weeks' time. Unbelievable value for money. If you need to go and chat to somebody, have a discussion about it, please do so before the end of Friday, because these machines, when they're gone, they're gone. We're not bringing the tattered lace one back. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. It doesn't mean it's not supported by Brother, because the CM300 is still, the CM machines are still supported by Brother. So please don't think that. This is just time for you to grab an absolutely incredible deal. Right, I'm going through the wall for a happy hour with David. See you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.